We're here with Miss Toyin, and we're covering that book, Mental Wellness for the Information Age. If you have not gotten it, please try to get it. So there's this famous phrase, you could have done more. Sometimes it's told to us by the people we love, the people that are close to us. Sometimes it's our own internal voice that tells us that we could have done more. In situations probably where you feel like you underperformed at work or at a task that you're trying to do, what do you think makes this phrase, you could have done more, so emotionally triggering for many people today?
Yeah, good day, everyone. This phrase, you could have done more, is like a punch to the guts because it pokes at two fears, two different deep fears that people have. And these are failure and inadequacy. So in a world full of constant demands, and the 24/7 always on high expectations, many people are already overwhelmed and they are doing their best, even if no one tells them, or even if they don't feel so. They are overwhelmed, but they are doing their best. So, if you say this to someone who feels overwhelmed, it's like you have totally removed the what you have totally removed, like, I can say you removed life from the person because he or she now feels, oh, I'm totally inadequate. Nobody wants that. So, and this just says you're enough. And this now transforms their best into a failure. The mind just keeps going and going round and round, thinking, what didn't I do? Or what should I have done? So
Mhm.
those words can also feel like a personal attack on people's character. And words have power. So we have to be very cautious on how we tell what we say to people. Because you could have done more. It can amplify guilt and self-doubt instead of encouraging growth. And if we truly must be who we think we are, it's best to encourage growth rather than make people feel guilt or feel less than enough. A better approach would have been to recognize what has been done before suggesting what could be done to improve on what you think is not done enough. And one thing we all need to know is that we rise higher when we feel valued, not shamed. We rise higher when we feel valued, not shamed. Thank you.
I think what you said is really important, especially in this time. Like we have that constant pressure to be on. And I love that. And if anybody is out there watching this live stream right now, if there's anything you're going to remember from this, remember that you are enough. You are doing enough. As long as you're putting in your best, it is good enough. So, as if you are a leader out there, you have a team that you're trying to manage, before telling them the things that they could have done more, like Mr. Ian said, first acknowledge what they did great. And I think it can also be projected to our own personal lives with the way we handle ourselves. Before saying, okay, let's improve this, or we must first learn to also appreciate ourselves internally and not set unrealistic standards. How can someone begin to identify that they are setting these unrealistic standards and then release themselves from these standards that they've set?
Okay. You start by asking yourself, whose voice set this bar? Whose voice sets the standard? Is it my voice or someone else's? Don't just accept things the way they are. I tell people, challenge the norm. question the origin of these standards. Do they come from your true values? Because we like it or not, we all have our core values. We have what we believe, you know. So are these standards influenced by external pressures? Why don't I be the one to set the standard and everybody fall in line with it? Why should I restrict myself to what somebody has said? So it's a form of self-reflection. That is the first step. Begin by observing your own internal dialogue, because unrealistic standards, they sneak in from comparison, past criticism, or perfectionistic thinking. And it's being working towards being perfect is like you're just piling pressure on yourself. Be you. Be you. Write down these standards. Challenge each one of them. Are these standards helping me to grow, or are they draining me? We know all these standards. We don't need to start listing some of them, but you have to look at it. If you want to guide your life by external pressure, you even be kind to yourself. Write them down, make a list, and see, if I live by this standard, will it drain me? Will it improve me? Replace impossible goals with realistic, flexible ones. Celebrate progress, not just perfection. Because it's when we keep running after perfectionism that we stumble. Your worth is not measured by how flawlessly you perform. No, nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. The thing is, don't sit in that mistake. Rise. Rise from it. Learn and rise. Make your corrections and rise. Reevaluate whatever standard you are working with and adjust your aspirations. Self-compassion is very important, and lose your grip on unrealistic standards. That's the way for you to live a calm life.
I really love what you started with when you asked that question, whose voice are you really listening to? You see, like we've been talking about a world where social media is the main voice, the things that are coming in from the internet, that's what we're listening to. And we're not even listening to our own voices. Some of these standards, like you've said, are not even set by ourselves, but by the external pressure from the people around. Because my friends
Mhm.
are maybe doing this or going out to this place, I also want to be at that level. And so you set these unrealistic expectations for yourself. So whatever you've shared is so meaningful, especially in this age. But it requires someone to come to that place of meditation, right? And having that time with themselves to rest and reflect. What do you think the role of rest and reflection is playing in countering this pressure to always do more?
Rest and reflection act like a pause
Mhm.
button in a world that constantly whispers to you more, more, more. Rest is a reset button. They are powerful antidotes to the pressure of always doing more. Rest gives your body the reset it craves, and it aids productivity, while reflection helps you to see if the extra doing even aligns with your vision. We like it or not, we all have vision for our lives. We know what we want to do, we know where we want to be. So Reflection helps you to know if whatever it is you expose yourself to is helping you or it is draining you. And most importantly, rest is not a reward for hard work. It is a fundamental need. Because some people think when you rest is laziness, or when you rest, it means you are not productive. One thing we forget is that when you rest, it kind of helps you to reset your system and you become more productive. You can't run on fumes. You can't run on empty. You have to keep refilling yourself. And the way to refill is to rest. Is to rest. And reflection offers a crucial pause to enable us to evaluate our priorities. Check in with your true feelings and determine if your efforts are aligned with your core values. Because without this moment, you risk chasing tasks that look important, but they mean very little. Like the content I posted this morning on LinkedIn and Facebook, I mentioned that productive, I mean, you can be busy and not productive. You can be busy and not productive because you are working on so many tasks that at the end of the day, you ask yourself, was I just buzzing or was I productive? You're just going from one place to the other like a bee, but you haven't done anything meaningful. So I come back to self-compassion, because you really have to take time to look at what is happening within you to know if what you are doing aligns with what your values are or not. So rest is very important. Stepping back is not laziness. Don't let anyone fool you, because if you end up on a sick bed, you are there alone. Yes, people may come to visit you, but they will not lie on that bed with you. Life continues. So you have to learn to rest, protect your energy. Protect your energy.
Awesome. And I love that statement you made about, was I just buzzing or was I productive? That's a very, very, very fundamental question that we should ask ourselves, especially when we are pressuring ourselves to meet these unrealistic standards. Also, we live in a hustle culture, and we are being told hustle, team no sleep. We have that here in Uganda. We have team no sleep, so they're
No
telling
sleep,
us, yes, that we need to keep working and rest is not
working.
important. Yes,
Mm.
so you saying that rest is not just something, but a basic fundamental need is so important. And I hope that our viewers can take that. So there are moments when,
Mm.
irrespective of the fact that someone has rested, they are still feeling like a failure. Actually, a friend of mine said they don't like to be alone because when they are alone in that meditation, the voices that come to speak to them are voices that tell them, you are a failure. You are a
Mm.
failure. So, how can someone speak to themselves in those moments of perceived failure?
Yeah, I understand what your friend is going through. It happens. It happens. But in moments of perceived failure, it is crucial to shift from self-criticism to self-compassion. No one can do it for you. There's no number of physiotherapists or number of therapy sessions that you go to. If you don't have compassion on yourself, the therapy is of non-effect. Self the way you will speak to a friend, a dear friend. Let me put it that way, so that people will not say just a friend. No, a dear friend, without judgment, with compassion, and with perspective. Because when people come to us for because they have one issue or the other, we empathize with them. But when we have such issues, we just begin to criticize ourselves instead of showing the same kind of compassion we show to others to show to ourselves. So instead of saying, I am a failure, start by asking yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Treat that light that you are shining, shine it on yourself. Shine the light on yourself. See yourself the way you are. Show yourself some compassion. I'm not saying be vague. No, acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge your feelings, but acknowledge such feelings without judgment. Perhaps by thinking, I feel disappointed, but that's okay. It's okay. I've had in my corporate life, I've had um, cases where I know I was kept for no reason because I have the promotion came out. If I had just sat back and said, "Oh well, I will not do my duties. I will not follow my schedule." When the next promotion comes, wouldn't I also be be left stranded? But you just receive the news, and of course, like we are humans, you feel that disappointment. But you also look inwards, that what is it I am yet to do? Or even if you have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, do I need to go more beyond expectation? And the following year, I will get the promotion. So just remind yourself that step back does not define you. It does not define your overall worth or your capabilities. Be gentle on yourself. Embrace constructive self-talks. Positive self-talk, not negative self-talk. Move past the sting of disappointment and focus on growth rather than shame. Focus on growth rather than shame. Focus on what is next, not just what went wrong. Self-kindness is of utmost importance because it fuels resilience for better, far better than self-criticism. Self-kindness aids resilience. Self-criticism cannot take you anywhere. Embrace self-compassion. Very, very critical. Thank you.
There's someone out there that's watching this, and when the year began, they set up goals. They said, probably this year, I want to maybe get promoted at work, or I want to buy this, I want to make some kind of progress in my life. And the year is soon coming to an end, and they've fallen behind. What would you say to someone out there who feels like they are failing to meet their goals?
Falling behind is not the same as failing. It is just a different route to the finish line. And this brings us to the comparison again. I always tell people, ditch comparison. It doesn't help. It doesn't aid growth in any way because your path is unique. So instead of comparing your journey to others, take a moment to acknowledge the effort you have put in and the lessons you have learned. Because when you keep on with comparing yourself to others, you forget to even look at what you have done. You forget
True.
to see that you are even doing something worth being proud of or something worth celebrating. Life is not a race. Life is not a race with a single clock. No, it is a journey with different seasons. And we have to learn to live within those seasons with a blessed mind. Our mindset must always be right, whatever season we are in. Some seasons are for progress, of course, while others are for rest and recalibration. So whichever season you are in, adapt. Learn to adapt. Your worth is not tied to a timeline or a checklist. Yes, we all have, I want to be this at age 20. I want to be that at age 35. But so it's not about what you say. Goals can be adjusted. Goals are not cast in stone. They can be adjusted. Dreams also can be reshaped. So don't even think you are failing because you are not meeting the time you have set for yourself. Own your awesomeness. Be you unapologetically. Own your awesomeness.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And we've come to the end of our stream. But for anybody who's out there, remember to treat yourself with compassion. And those internal voices should be voices of kindness because if you can love others, then you deserve to
Sure.
love yourself. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Jane, and
Mhm.
till next time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.